group. They're very compassionate about what they do. They've given me the smile that I've always wanted. I've been a patient for 15 years and I wouldn't go anywhere else. I just love Tupelo Smiles.
As a nurse, I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon here. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather This Morning. It is 7:30 a.m. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day here on your, what is this, Wednesday? Trying to keep that straight. I don't know about you, but it might not be as foggy as yesterday. Maybe it's brain fog because I'm not used to doing the morning show stuff here. But it is cloudy and dreary and excellent sleeping weather. I need a nap, but I don't know if a lot of folks will be able to pull that off today. I guess if you worked overnight, second shift, third shift, you might be able to pull that off. But it is definitely a dreary sort of day, and we expect that to be something that continues today and keeps it cool. Melissa remains strong. Latest on that category 2 storm here coming up here in a few minutes, as unfortunately it has proven to be a killer storm, increasing that death toll now to at least 7. Breezy and rainy conditions for this Wednesday and cool. There's a chill out there to the wind. We'll look at those wind chill numbers here in a minute. And even colder weather is ahead, including some low temperatures are going to be in the upper 30s near frost territory. One of the things we'll be looking at is kind of how the wind works in the near term here. And of course, the latest on Melissa, as we talked about as well. But the hour-by-hour forecast here, the remainder of today, keeping those showers in there. Now, when I show you 40% here in a minute, we're talking mainly drizzle here initially. I think it gets a little heavier as we progress into this midday time period. It's not going to be something that adds up to a lot in the rain gauges. We can look, I think, maybe briefly at that as well coming up in a moment. But notice temperatures don't move much from the lower 50s now to kind of middle 50s. This is a cold core system aloft, wrapping in that colder air, and that keeps us limited. I mean, look at these wind chill temperatures. That is not pleasant up there, Senatobia, for you this morning in Tunica or South Haven, where it feels like it's in the low 40s at this time. That's that cold air aloft. If we even get temperatures in the upper 40s, the fact that we're going to be so breezy and there are wind advisories associated with that, that is part of the reason why it is not going to feel particularly warm. Looking at actual temperatures, you can see that. Senatobia at 49, South Haven 49. We're 48 in Oxford, 52. Technically, if you're in the 50s, you don't qualify for wind chills. I know 2 degrees doesn't make that much a difference, but the equation is a math thing, doesn't kick in until you're in the upper 40s. So it's like, oh, no wind chill out there. Yeah, that's not the reality of how it feels, is it? So looking at Mississippi Live Weather Radar here, you can see, again, the heavier showers with this initial wave kind of exiting into Alabama as we've gone throughout the overnight hours here, and we have more back into Arkansas that are going to kind of rotate in behind this system. I'll bring it back in here to the close shot here for a moment on Mississippi Live Weather Radar. We're going to come to the high resolution version here, this what we call sweeping radar, and you can see these little bands where we have the little bits of green showing up there. This is that drizzle. Let's check out our camera there in Columbus. What I want to see is, we'll put this into motion here, make it a 1-hour loop, is whether or not that drizzle is adding up more on the roadways there. Again, appreciate the good folks of the Mississippi Department of Transportation. I mean, clearly the drizzle's on the lens. Clearly the roads are still in all directions there at 45 and US 82 damp, and that always extends stopping distances. This is that time of year. You don't really think about it, but, you know, that tread depth important on stopping distances. And, of course, because the only thing making contact with the roads are those tires. So dreary kind of start there in the Columbus area, 52, that temperature. We go up the road to West Point. Again, not a lot of visibility, lots of raindrops on that camera lens there. Of course, it's also higher up. Those winds 13 miles per hour. And yeah, unfortunately, no official wind chill on that. Let's see if we can get one to pop out in Batesville there, as we should be upper 40s. And so that'll, and up, that shows that the temperature at 50 there in Batesville on the latest official update. So No official wind chill showing up for you as well as we head back out there to the Mississippi River, out toward Helena, West Helena, showing up with dry conditions. Looks like one of those cameras is not working. I say dry, it means there's no additional rainfall, but those roads look pretty damp, don't they? Doesn't look like the reporter station showing there for temperatures, but the wind, no question, it remains pretty breezy at this point in time. And so as we kind of wind things out here on Doppler radar on the regional perspective, a couple things we'll note. Again, we'll talk more about Melissa, its latest updates here in just a moment after the break. But these showers continue to rotate in with this storm system. And as they do, at least light to moderate rainfall will continue as we progress throughout the day. Now, here's the deal. This is what we call a cold core system. There's lots of cold air aloft associated with it. As a result, that will continue to kind of keep these showers developing through the day, and we're just not going to budge. So if kind of a good idea on what it's going to feel like midday in this afternoon, and you step on your porch right now, this is about as best case scenario as what it will feel going through the day. So it is not going to be a particularly warm day as we continue to wrap in more rainfall by noontime into the afternoon. And yeah, that's fairly widespread rainfall by the time we're picking the kids up from school. We'll look at that in more detail up close and personal here in just a minute. But this system certainly dominating the eastern, really 2/3 of the United States by continuing to keep these showers around. I'm bringing on a much wider shot here and looking back toward the north and west. High pressure is the story. We do have another front that direction. More on that coming in the extended, but really it's the colder air still bringing in from this system that'll also include winds. We have wind advisories in effect for many locations for today. We'll hopefully look at those come up here in a couple minutes as well, but those wind speeds expected to be pretty breezy. As you can see, west-southwest, shifting to the west-northwest, and by tomorrow morning, you take that 45-degree temperature, cooler than this morning. With drier conditions, we'll drop that temperature more, and you figure in that wind, it will be in the 30s for wind chills and actual temperatures heading into the 30s by Friday morning, and that could mean perhaps some frost for a few locations by then. Coming up in 60 seconds, looking at just that cold air as it continues to spill into the area. And the latest on killing Hurricane Melissa. It has moved through Cuba overnight. The latest impacts and information coming out of that country as Mississippi Live Weather at 7:30 continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center right after this.
Hey, you there! Ever try to do something in under 6 minutes? Anything, like say, grow a beard. I bet you can. At Sweet Pepper's Deli, you get quality food in under 6 minutes. Now how about that? Sweet Pepper's Deli, life is sweet.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lobhon here. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather here from the Room to Room Weather Center as of what? We're about where's my clock at? 7:40 a.m. The blue you see behind me here, these are wind advisories in effect for locations in the Delta stretching up from around Senatobia, South Haven there until 9 p.m. tonight. Tate, Panola, as well as LaFleur County, Holmes County, and then really everything from Kemper, Lauderdale, and Clark County back toward the Mississippi River in effect with this. Of course, this tends to be locations, you can kind of even see how that system, curving around there, affecting all of those spots. So that's what we're looking at with this is we're certainly going to have some breezy conditions continuing through the day associated with this. As we bring it back over here to Mississippi Live Weather Radar, showing up the latest on that there, and I'll pull off of those wind advisories. If you give me a moment here to pop those back off here for a second. We just continue to show mainly lighter variety showers moving through, and most of this is really light, not really adding up to much. And certainly one of the things we want to talk about as we get closer to active season here is hail. No hail associated with this, no severe weather. I do again appreciate the folks at True Shield Roofing for sponsoring our hail threat. We talked about last night there was yesterday morning possibility maybe for a couple of hailstones out of this for some locations around the region. Thankfully, no issues there. But as we get into the season for that, we'll of course have the folks there at True Shield helping us out to make sure that that's the case or not the case when we start getting toward that. So lighter variety showers still showing up here. Tishomingo County back toward Russellville, out there toward Hamilton, Alabama. And most of this is drizzle on the Mississippi side at this point in time here. On the wider shot, we don't really show much again down in South Mississippi associated with this system. Of course, big weather story around this part of the world remains Melissa. Melissa is a hurricane of significance, a Category 2 storm as of latest update. Again, made landfall near the city of Chivirivcro. Oh, shouldn't have tried that. In the province of Santiago de Cuba, with winds of 120 miles per hour during the overnight time period there. Still remains impressive hurricane. 7 dead, unfortunately, related to this, and additional rainfall totals in excess of a foot for some locations in Cuba, possibility, and 10 inches or so out there toward the Bahamas. On the kind of wider shot here, you can see already some of the rainfall for locations there in the Bahamas with this system. As we look at Melissa and the track going forward there, again, watching the tropics here this morning, 7 a.m. update, 968 millibars. That is filled a lot from where it was yesterday when it was down close to 900. That's how it had those 175 mile per hour winds with it, just intense hurricane. Now down to Category 2 strength at 105 miles per hour. By midday today, as you can see, kind of halfway between Cuba and the Bahamas, moving there through the Bahamas during the late evening and overnight hours. By 1 o'clock in the morning, still 105 mile per hour winds, maintaining Category 2 strength as it approaches locations out there. I wanted to kind of change the angle so you could see that'd be Bermuda there, and Bermuda with impacts as we go into your Friday. So this system continues working its way north and east, and out there into the northern Atlantic through this upcoming weekend as it transitions to a tropical storm and eventually post-tropical cyclone. As we bring things back a little closer, the way in which the storm system that's over us interacts with that is it really kind of kicks up some of those wind speeds on a fairly wide scale. You can see here are our winds as we progress throughout today. I'm going to stop this and kind of re-rack it here for a moment, so we can kind of show those. You can see strongest back to the north and west and kind of ratcheting into the system. So this is where those wind advisories are in effect for the Delta. You see the greens there, that's 20 mile per hour sustained wind speeds with gusts up in excess of 30 miles per hour. So certainly northeast Mississippi, somewhat more protected from the wind issues related to this. But at this point, again, expecting it to be a breezy day, and that will just enhance the wind chill just a little bit. We'll see here, looks like our airport delays, I'm going to go forward to back graphic, see if those will come in. Looks like we're waiting on an update on those. I'm going to re-rack that and see if it decides to pop in. We did not have any airport delays as of the last check a moment ago. And again, appreciate the folks at CyberShield Technology Solutions. I think we're still probably good to go. And the reason I say that is while we do have some rainfall out there up into locations in Tennessee related to this, we don't have any sort of severe weather, no lightning associated with, well, there may be a little bit of lightning, but no legitimate thunderstorms, and so no major issues related to that. So drop off, again, pick up a forecast for the kids, and most of those probably already picked up by the bus at 49. Drop off temperature as they bring it back home at 54. It is not going to be a particularly warm day. As we continue to go throughout the day, though, the rainfall continues to kind of spread in from the north and west. And you can see it will pick up in coverage. Fairly light initially, more widespread, a little heavier by noontime, especially up here closer to South Haven and Memphis and Oxford and Batesville as we continue to wrap around showers associated with this out closer to Forest City, Arkansas, and wind a little heavier, and then spreading in on a more widespread scale. But yeah, in time to kind of pick the kids up from school, start waiting in those carpool lines, rainfall remains fairly widespread associated with this around and into this evening, meaning for church tonight, we do expect to obviously have plenty of showers still around. And you can just check looking at the arrows here, circulating in the center of this system, and what we call a cold core low that really limits where temperatures don't move on a day like today. So yeah, expecting it to continue to be fairly breezy and cool, with high temperatures only expected to be in the mid 50s kind of at best. If we can get some spots where we see a little bit of clearing, or we keep it dry longer, perhaps we increase temperatures, this honestly doesn't matter because it will feel cooler than this all day long. So as we look ahead at, again, the forecast for tonight, a few isolated showers, again, possible with this into this evening. It does show a few spots where we do start to clear out, a sign that the drier air is gradually kind of moving in, even into Arkansas, Forest City back there toward DeWitt and Dumas, showing, again, only some lighter variety showers. And so arguably more drizzle than anything else as we go overnight. But we still have those north winds, northwest winds, and they will keep it cool as we progress into your early Thursday morning. Thursday morning wind chills should be down somewhere in the neighborhood of the mid-30s for a lot of spots. Might even have some lower 30s out there for wind chills tomorrow morning. Our meteorologist Maggie McCauley will be tracking that 6:37, 7:30 a.m., of course, right here in the Room to Room Weather Center as we progress throughout your Thursday morning. Now, behind this, as you can see, we have drier air moving in. That should give us a little more sunshine, and that does help boost temperatures a little bit more by Thursday afternoon, expecting high temperatures to be somewhere in the neighborhood of the upper 50s, maybe even some lower 60s back by your Thursday afternoon. I don't know if I said Friday a second ago. I meant Thursday. Friday's warmer by afternoon, but colder in the morning because these same clear skies that warm us up for Thursday afternoon and evening, those help us to drop a lot more by Thursday night and into early Friday morning. So Thursday, high temperatures expected to be around the 60-degree point. We'll say Eupora at 60, Kosciuszko about 60 as well, Louisville 59, about 61 degrees, Columbus about 57 Iuka. So it will be kind of a cool sort of day on your Friday. And looking toward Friday football, cool sort of day Thursday. Let me get my brain turned on here for a second. I don't know, apparently it needs to reboot. Looking toward Friday football, though, as well as your trick-or-treating forecast, it's going to be fairly cool into the evening. If you're doing trick-or-treating tomorrow night, it's not going to be warm, but it'll be probably just as cool as we look toward Friday evening as well. Clear skies out there, looking good for our high school football game of the week, brought to you by KC Lott, and appreciate them for presenting this all throughout our season here and partnering with us on Mississippi Live Weather. Pre-game forecast, yeah, manageable 57, but still chilly. We'll be 49 by the end of that one. I'm going to be layered up. Probably the Mississippi Live Weather hat. I don't have a Mississippi Live Weather toboggan at this point here. I don't have the heavier coat. We're going to have to get some of those made going forward because it's definitely going to be fairly cool for that game there. And we're expecting to be kind of cool again for the beginning, certainly, of the Sweet Potato Festival there in Vardaman. Again, 52nd year of that festival. Check it out. It's kind of cool. It's a big deal in Vardaman. Best sweet potatoes you can get, certainly in the state. And honestly, even my mother-in-law back in Texas ends up getting Vardaman sweet potatoes. So that's how prevalent the sweet potatoes that begin in Calhoun County are. Support local, support this good festival. It's a lot of fun. It'll be 59 at noon, 64 by 3 p.m. Our meteorologist, Kayla Bettelblut's actually dropping by there, hopefully getting a little video of the festival on Saturday. And so certainly something we want you to check out. See if we can get the Lawpon group out there for that as well. Have to check with the official calendar on how that will work out. 7-day forecast looking fairly cool again for low temperatures, not just Friday morning, where 39 will probably bring us to near frost territory for some spots near the Tennessee state line and up into Tennessee. So it's some of the coolest weather certainly we've had so far this fall on the way as we look into this upcoming next couple of mornings there from Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So chilly out there. I think some folks might say some good hunting weather as far as that is concerned. Won't have the same cloud cover and drizzliness that we do have for today. Mid-60s on the way as we look toward the first part of next week. Let's go back to that graphic here for just a moment. and show again upper 60s, I think, by Monday and Tuesday. That's closer to our normal for this time of year as we look toward the far extended forecast there. But certainly everything is below normal throughout the next 7 days. I check over here in our discussion. A lot of good mornings out there. Good morning to you. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day today. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all online with us here on Mississippi Live Weather. And again, I do appreciate the good folks at Room to Room for sponsoring us, and all of our sponsors here. Please support them. If you support the folks that are supporting Mississippi Live Weather with your choices, certainly we'll be able to stick around longer. And we appreciate all the folks who are doing that here. The next live broadcast will be today at 5 p.m. from the Room to Room Weather Center. That'll be Gabe. Gabe is in. And he is going to be looking at the latest on Melissa. And unfortunately, as the information comes in during the day, we expect that death toll probably is going to go up related to that system. He'll have updates at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. I promised this earlier, so that means if you're willing to stick around with me for a minute while I kind of hack through some stuff behind the scenes here, we will look at some power outages and things like that from down there in Jamaica. I think we can pull that up here a couple different ways. Actually, I might be able to pull that up directly from poweroutage.us through our system. So give me a moment here. It should go down. It does not look like it goes down to Jamaica there. Puerto Rico we do get, I think, but it does not look like Jamaica is on that. Then again, I guess it is poweroutage.us, so shouldn't be too terribly shocked with that. Before we go, again, want to say a big congratulations to the folks there in Eupora and East Webster. That game, we're looking forward to heading down there for our Friday night football game of the week this week. It was a resounding win for those folks, but we are looking for those band and cheerleader pictures so we can get the votes in for band and cheer squad of the week and showcase those coming up this Friday night. So we'll be looking for those. You can always send those in, email those info@msliveweather.com. And again, appreciate those good folks at Langston Lot, Casey Lot there for sponsoring us and supporting so many high school ventures here across North Mississippi. I'll leave you actually back with Mississippi Live Weather Radar. One last look at how things are kind of shaping up out there, because again, as we like to joke, we got nothing but weather coming up the remainder of today. So let's, before we send it to the 24/7 stream there, take a check on how things are looking with the showers again, largely heading out there into Alabama. This is all lighter variety stuff. I'll check a couple of cameras that we also do have out there just to kind of see if this has gotten a little more moderate. We'll check Winona. We haven't seen Winona this morning. Good morning to you down there in Montgomery County. Again, dreary. I'll look at toward the horizon there. Some patches of fog, not impossible. There's some really low clouds, so that does kind of support that drizzle thought. The reason there's nothing showing up on the radar behind me here, by the way, well, first off is because I'm in front of it, but also because when you're talking about something so light, I have it coded to where that doesn't kind of pop up on there. Let's check out toward Greenwood as well. And then we'll actually come up to Pontotoc next after that. Looks like the Greenwood camera is down for the moment. That happens from time to time there. And then definitely clouded in Pontotoc with this low cloud cover that you see there. Also kind of some drizzle out there. So I think drizzle, the way I would describe this. So it is not going to feel dry today, even in what is kind of our dry patch out there, because this is some fairly widespread drizzle that we have in place. So, yeah. Anyway, let's wrap things up here. Appreciate all y'all for supporting us here, Mississippi Live Weather. Like and subscribe on all the social medias. Hey to Arnita there in Corinth, and Boonville, and everyone for watching us here on Mississippi Live Weather and supporting us. If you don't have the app and you're watching us on YouTube, again, you can chat. I do look at the chat on Facebook and YouTube and all those more often. But I got to tell you, the Mississippi Live Weather app is the easiest way to kind of check and see on everything we're doing here. It lets you have alerts when we go live. In particular, we don't usually do the early mornings on the alerts there. But it will also let you know as we get more in the severe weather season, all the latest on that. It has widgets to go on your home screen as well. And that live feed is always at the top. So when we're live, you see us live right on there. Okay, we'll see you guys coming up tonight live at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. here from the Room to Room Weather Center. Keep it here for the latest.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious when he began to discover weather. Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.